lineups, the Indiana Hoosiers, for back-to-back games without the 6'3" forward, Zania Soka-Guman, who is out with a lower leg injury, and her absence certainly is massive for the Hoosiers.
Absolutely. This is a player that's an anchor on both ends of the floor. You talk to Terry Morin, traditionally.
The point guard, Nevaeh Caffey, is in the circle with Olivia Olson, and it will be Michigan basketball to begin this contest. One of the best offenses and best defenses in the country. Only loss in Big Ten play, a narrow one to Washington on a Pacific Northwest road trip. Immediately, right off the bat, we talked about Olivia Olson, how secure she is in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that easy. She's such an efficient player, and when they get her going early, the first basket, that's scary.
Something that really stands out about her is her body control in the air at all times. Here's Indiana on the attack in the passing lane is Ashley Sophocanic. Kim Barnes-Arico, the leader of this Michigan team, number 9 in the country. We talked about it coming in, where she said this is some of the best guard play you will see in the Big Ten underneath Terry Morin in this Hoosier team. Chesky immediately swarmed. Top 2 scorers are Chesky, number 10, and Beaumont with the ball in her hands right now. The redshirt sophomore going to take it herself. She is walloped inside, has nowhere to go. That's going to be a 3-second violation. This is a swarming Michigan defense in the half court.
Exactly. You just saw Michigan's identity on these last 2 possessions. Offensively, their efficiency and ability to execute with Olsen scoring. And on the other end, Sloan, to your point, that swarming, suffocating defense that causes teams to turn the ball over.
No surprise to see Brooke Quarles-Daniels in on that, too. This Michigan team says, we've collectively got to things have changed.
Yeah, Sloan, we're getting there. 10 years since my sophomore year.
Oh, all right.
That's like reunion times. we're getting up on the reunion times.
Basketball has changed a lot. There's no denying that. Here's Michigan back with the ball.
I played with Habs, Sloan. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Okay,
just one year. Just one year.
Point taken. Here's Quarles-Daniels right in the middle of the paint. 10 to shoot. That skips away from Silas Swords. Sophocanic with 3 seconds left. Difficult turnaround. She drops it through perfectly.
Yeah, the poise that she had on that one, because she almost slid there a little bit, but didn't panic, stayed poised, and got the turnaround jumper.
Sometimes it's hard as a post player to have the ball in the closing seconds of the shot clock, too.
Absolutely. So you credit that poise that she has, the IQ, and just the fearlessness of just putting the ball up.
Odessa Noyan, she's going to loft a 3 and drain a 3. Odessa Noyan, 23% from three-point range this season, just 3 of 13. Gets her first look to drop, as does another for Olivia Olson, who barrels down the floor. Indiana looking to push. Head coach Terry Morin says we're at our best when we are moving with pace, but it is a turnover.
Yeah, and this is Sophocanic right here with the turnaround. She just read the defense so well and shot over length as well, which is absolutely impressive. And my girl said, hey, you gonna score on me? I'm gonna score right back at you. No yawn from outside.
Michigan back on offense, 3 of 3 shooting to begin this game. Looking for the flare screen. It's gonna be an offensive foul on Sophocanic. Or rather, Swords that will be on. Michigan leading 6-3. Currently near the top. It is only UCLA and Iowa ahead of them in the Big Ten standings. Lene Beaumont finds Chesky, steps into her first shot. That's off target. We said in the open, the leading scorer in the Big Ten, 4th in the country for this Indiana team. Plowing her way to the rim, Mila Holloway will be shooting 2.
And Michigan's done a great job defensively of limiting her touches so far, but on the offensive end, another area they've been doing a great job is attacking, getting into the paint. This is the point guard that will dish out pass first, but does a great job of creating her own offense for herself and knows that time and place.
Nearly 13 points, 5 assists per game for Holloway in her second season in the Wolverine uniform. This is her first free throw. And Asia, this is the second poorest shooting team from the free throw line in the Big Ten, but they shoot the most free throws in the Big Ten.
And then the fact that they're so efficient, I feel like it's like that pattern of like the most efficient teams from the field, not so much from the free throw line. But it's just all rhythm, mechanics, catch your breath.
Maya Makaleski, no good from long range. And the rebound to Brooke Quarles-Daniels. You'll often see the smallest player on the floor, her, snare the rebound.
And you notice Indiana is sending 4 players back, Sloan, so not a lot of offensive rebounding going there, so they're going to have to really score the basketball.
That ball trickles out of bounds back to the Indiana Hoosiers. Still a one-possession game, 3 minutes in.
Have another look at it here. That is just great defense by Chesky. Love seeing players that are just two-way, and that's the system that Terry Morin plays in, being able to get it done on offense and defense as well.
Chesky in rhythm for 3. That was halfway down and out, but she is lethal. She's having an over 50, 40, 90 season this far in as Holloway with the Euro takes it to the cup.
Whew. That was a nice one.
Beaumont gets it over before a turnover by Chesky. Numbers for the Wolverines. In stride is a sprinting Olsen, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Michigan's bread and butter is that offense and that defense as well. We got to start with this offensive mood. Mia Holloway with the Euro, the 1-2 Sloan with the finish. We love to see it. And then the defense translating the offense. Olivia Olsen, no dribble, straight at the basket, draws the foul.
Olsen is so strong and solid that you just want to get out of her way.
And you saw she knocked over the defender. Just solid, 6'1". High IQ, efficient, a great leader, a two-way player.
Leading scorer on this team as she drops it in over 18 points per game. And the pressure here in the backcourt for the Wolverines. Kathy, the freshman, having to deal with it, and she will turn it over. That's 3 turnovers for the Hoosiers so far.
And Chesky, she turned it over on the first time they applied that pressure, and then now here, Kathy, all you have to do is be poised, get the ball over. Chesky was wide open. That's a wide open 3. You got to get it over. That 3-point is there every single time.
So Mechanic comes for the screen. Olsen can play inside, outside, looking to get Silas Swords going. She calls her own number and drops in the mid-range. That was beautiful.
Yeah, Silas Swords, we talked about her, part of that sophomore class that's just so good. And when she gets hot, Sloan, it is even more dangerous. I mean, so many weapons on this Michigan team.
An 8-0 run for Michigan after a little bit of a sputtering start. Had the game paused 50 seconds in for an appeal. Looking backdoor, Makaleski had an opportunity there. And then Beaumont is fouled by Sofakanik.
Have another look at this play. I mean, what a luxury to have multiple players that can score that rock. And right there is Silas Swords. We see her with the face mask. She's had to play with it for a few games now, but that has not stopped her whatsoever.
Slicing to the rim is Kathy for 2 on a confident take for the freshman.
Just a great play drawn up and executed. I mean, Indiana really just has to take their time.
Trailer, that was dangerous for Indiana to surrender to Olivia Olsen. She can't knock it down, opening it up for Beaumont to spin and hit.
Beaumont's a player that you have to know where she is in the three-point line at all times. So when you run her off the line, she has that ability to drive, and that's going to be key.
12-7 is Michigan's lead early as Olsen surveying the defense. Swords up and under, no good that time. Great boxing out, and Sofakanik able to snare it and put it back up and in.
Yeah, that's where Indiana has to do better. You got to get on the glass. This is a Michigan team that loves to get on the boards, offense, defense. You got to box out.
That's the biggest place Indiana has struggled this season. They're 18th, they're 15th in the Big Ten in total rebounds per game as there's a foul inside. First possession out of that break, missed there by Tayala Delfos, just recently inserted into the game, one of the top players off the bench for the Michigan Wolverines, who lead 14-7. It's past this midway point of the first quarter here in Bloomington. Also new into the game for Indiana, Jeremy Kiatu engineering this offense. Chesky Chesky trying to shake Quarles Daniels, one of the top defenders in the Big Ten, and able to knock down the mid-range, stopping abruptly.
Yeah, I mean, it is just money. The way that she can stop and pop, that release is so quick. Just lethal from all areas of the floor, and they're going to have to continue to get the ball in their hands.
Swords drops in a three. That touched nothing on its way down.
Nia Caffey, baby, you got to get a hand up on that ball. This is a player in Silas Swords that can light it up, especially when she gets hot.
Michigan as a team is 6 of 8 shooting to begin this contest. And stolen away right back into the hands of Kiaku. Mikuleski will drop in a three.
Indiana can continue to have poise in their possessions and score from outside specifically. They will stay in this game. Threes are always dangerous, Sloan.
Biggest strength for the Indiana Hoosiers, 7th in the nation, shooting 38% as a team from three-point range. A foul away from the ball is going to go on Chesky, her first.
I mean, this is how you got to do it. You see Caffey here loses the ball, but Indiana does not give up, staying with it. Great hustle play there, and the kick out to three. That's where Indiana wants to see all their money being made from outside.
They shot 2 for 19 against Iowa, a ranked win right in their grasp. They lost by only 3 points against the Hawkeyes. But the last 3 games, 54% shooting and 30 triples since. Here's Olsen again, the turnaround jump shot just a little bit short. Kendall Dudley, a difference maker on the glass. No good on the putback. One more try, and that goes into the hands of Caffey. Caffey going right into Olsen, barrels her down. Ball up for grabs and picked up by the Wolverines. Chaotic stretch of play on both sides. And Swords wants to settle things down. Swords sheds her defender, Kiaku, and puts up the mid-range.
Oh, it doesn't take much. You get Swords going. That's where they're going to go every single time, to the hot hand. And Caffey, who has the ball right here as a freshman, she's got so much growing and learning to do in terms of her decision-making. I know Terry Moore is going to talk to her about that in the huddle.
8 points off 6 turnovers for the Wolverines. A place they really excel in their offense throughout this season. No Young slips the pick. Now in the hands of Chesky, 5 to shoot for the Hoosiers. She's double teamed, has the lofted up, and the rebound taken by Holloway. Numbers for the Wolverines. Snaking along the baseline is Swords. So that's going to be an offensive foul, stepping in Mikuleski, the freshman. That is 2 on Silas Swords.
And that's huge. This is the player that just got hot, and have another look at it here. Remember, there is no restriction line, even though she was well outside of it. That's just a great play to get outside the paint. Great positioning.
10 combined turnovers in this game. Nearly 11. Indiana. 90 seconds to go. Beating tough here in the first quarter. Faith Wiseman new into the game, with Indiana shorthanded in the front court. Here's Kiaku rising, can't knock it down, and snatched by Olsen. Delphos now directing traffic. Inside, count it! Olivia Olsen can make it look easy.
Yeah, and Olivia Olsen might not be the type of player to be talking trash, but she should have hit her with the too small, Sloan, because that's exactly what happened here. Too small, mouse in the house. You got to body up. This is a guard posting in the paint, something that we did not see back in my day. The guards wanted no parts. And now we're seeing it all the time.
But when you have that kind of mismatch and you're on the mismatch part of it, you got to make sure it's not a three-point play you're potentially surrendering.
Absolutely.
Foul on the sideline. Or rather tipped out of bounds. So Chesky, who leads the Big Ten in minutes. It's never surprising to see her at 40 or above 39 each game. How vital she is to this Indiana team to have a chance. Here's Mikuleski, immediately swarmed. Caffey tries to spin. Kiaku straight on. She's got it.
This is exactly what Indiana needs, that balanced scoring. It's what I talked about for the game keys. All eyes are on Chesky. Typically, when they take her out of the play, Indiana kind of gets all out of the sorts. You've got to have other players step up.
6 players have between 2 and 3 points for Indiana right now. Not all dominated by Chesky, the leading scorer in the Big Ten. The lob nearly broken up. Macy Brown, now Del Foss maneuvering. 3 seconds as she puts up the mid-range. Great positioning by Dudley for the offensive putback.
Yeah, Chesky, you're on that weak side. Got to get a body on the glass.
That is how the first quarter.
USC's really going to have to lock in on those posts.
And looking forward to that one coming up after us from Galen Center in Los Angeles. Start of the second quarter at Assembly Hall. Indiana hit 3 triples in that first quarter, kept them competitive. 1 dribble pull-up, well defended, doesn't go down for Beaumont.
Yeah, and they've been shooting the ball pretty well. Notice no one's going to the glass as they're sending people back, so that does take away from those second chance opportunities.
It's going to be a turnover on Holloway. Moved that pivot foot, got into some trouble.
So to my point with that, if you can't get on the glass, that means even more. You got to maximize your possession. So take care of the basketball and get a block out on the defensive end.
Beaumont is in trouble. She throws it away. Holloway pounces on it and takes it to the cup. This is a Michigan team that is scoring 27 points off turnovers per game. That is top 10 in the country, 5th rather. They've already got 10 right now.
I mean, you just look at their defense. They've got length. They're all sitting down on their butts, all talking, moving on a string on the airtime of the ball.
5 to shoot for Kiaku. She'll give it up to Chesky. 1 dribble, step back. She's got it.
There it goes. You give her that look there. That was a tough one. Just gave her a boost of confidence. She's going to continue to put it up.
She's shooting 46% from 3 this season. A high-volume shooter shooting that efficiently. She's had a remarkable season for the Hoosiers. A response right back from Holloway deep in front of Indiana's bench.
I mean, a luxury to have a point guard that can facilitate and score the ball as well and defend. Mia Holloway just plays with so much confidence.
Beaumont gets it over, looking up ahead. Noyon had it blocked. She thought she had a free lay-in. Michigan said, you better think again.
And that was just so close as I was getting ready to celebrate the fact that they were poised in the press. And then this happened, Sam.
And that was also Coral Daniels, the smallest player on the floor. He had mentioned that Michigan thought she should have been included in that
I was
group.
getting ready to say, what was y'all saying? What was y'all saying about the Naismith? Who did y'all not include in the group?
They just feel like she is an energizer for this team, ignites one of the best defenses in the Big Ten, and you can see it on plays like that as Macy Brown strokes it for the Wolverines.
I'm going to pull that block clip and send it to the committee. All right, I'm done. Moving on. Here we go.
Up ahead to Noyon. Look at how Michigan is swarming. There's always movement everywhere. Upon every catch, every drive, every pass, but Beaumont muscles her way up and in against Brown, who's a little slow to get up.
You know, that's how you get fizzle and muscle your way into the paint. And Michigan does such a great job taking away the paint, pinching in on there, but Beaumont just by herself, one-on-one, muscling up in there.
Is this 1-3-1 that we might have been seeing from Indiana in this game? Just trying to, in the words of Coach Warren, junk it up against one of the best teams in the country, but Olsen takes care of business in the paint.
Yeah, and that 1-3-1, there's a lot of open gaps there. In Michigan, they're a team that's poised, they're patient on offense, easy to find those gaps and score.
Poked away, another Indiana turnover. Swarming there is Coral Daniels. Olsen slices to the rim for 2. Just an onslaught by the Michigan Wolverines, and Olsen already, Asia, up to 13 points.
Yeah, Indiana's really got to figure something out when they run and jump on the point guard. Players have to make themselves available in the line of sight to get the pass out.
Michigan back on offense. They are 5 for 5 shooting in this quarter. Stepping on the gas hard. Dudley attacks and finishes. 6 for 6 shooting so far.
Dudley from UCLA, just such a great pickup. I mean, we talked about the bench and how productive they are, and she's one of them. Physical, great size, great defense.
Really finding her comfort and confidence. Here's another turnover and numbers for the Wolverines. Olsen is feasting. Timeout called by Indiana as Michigan dictating and controlling this game.
Three and Olsen, Mia Holloway, Silas Soares, they're the ones that have always been the constant. But Sloan, Tayala Delphos has emerged into what I believe could be a potential 6th Woman of the Year. And Kim Barnes-Enrico said, she didn't get enough credit. She wasn't a McDonald's All-American, never played in those big games, but now a star is born. She's really starting to emerge in this group.
Krzyzewski canning another 3. Although Michigan still outscoring Indiana in this quarter 16-8. Indiana has that ability with the 3 ball to stay in games. There's Sofakanik, a beautiful post move.
A lot of it, Sloan, were the turnovers from Indiana. They're not crashing the glass because they're sending 4 back. So really having to maximize those opportunities. But to your point, that 3 ball can keep you in a game.
Almost another one there from Beaumont, the second leading scorer on this Hoosier team. Sofakanik receives the pass from the outside, and Kiaku snatches it away, and the whistle will go on Sofakanik. That's her second.
Having a look at it here, this is exactly what the Hoosiers want to see, and that Krzyzewski just continuing to light it up from outside. I mean, 3s are worth more than 2s, and that can get you back in a game.
And that's exactly what Coach Barnes-Enrico said about this Indiana team, that we're not looking at that record, them being 0-9 in Big Ten play. They can trade 3s for 2s easily. Beaumont surrounded, leaves it for Nevaeh Caffey, the point guard of this team, though just a freshman. Trying to take Holloway along the baseline. Now 10 to shoot for Indiana. Kiaku splits defenders, a ridiculous pass made, and the finish by Wiseman.
Yeah, Kiaku just in the paint, maneuvering, navigating, and that's an excellent pass, excellent look. That's the poise that I'm talking about offensively.
That crossover by Holloway was nasty as well, but she will turn it over with a trap.
I mean, it is not easy whatsoever to get into the Michigan defense, and this is just such a great look from Kiaku. Here to her teammate right there in the paint. That is Wiseman with the lay-in.
Caffey, Kiaku team up well to beat the press. Nearly going down for Beaumont. Indiana badly needed that. Delphos has her pocket picked, and Indiana comes up with the basketball. Caffey now resetting. Sneaking around the defense. Great look for Beaumont. Yes! That's a 41% three-point shooter this season. Here is Olsen. The rebuttal not there. Krzyzewski, the fake, attempts to pass it, got poked away. Now 10 turnovers for the Hoosiers. Alyssa Crockett, the Indiana native, into this contest as well for Michigan. Olsen tied up there by Kiaku.
Now, Caffey is the freshman. This is where she has learned within the game, which I love to see. Being able to play out of the trap, the in and out, having that poise to that drip pass, which led to the 3. And to my point, that is really, I mean, that's mature. That's maturity right there. That's showing growth because we saw the turnovers early on.
That is 2 on Kiaku. Beaumont has 2 as well for the Hoosiers. Rising, firing is Olsen. 1 and done by Indiana on the glass. Almost through the hands of Caffey, and now 10 to shoot. Caffey penetrates, is stuffed by Olsen.
Yeah, that's a lot. You're going up against a lot of size there, so you got to continue to move the ball.
Delphos steps out of bounds. Well, coming up on the Liberty Mutual Insurance Halftime Report, we'll have a feature on Michigan head coach Kim Barnes-Enrico, talking with our John Fanta. Plus, breakdown of the first half, plenty more coming your way Liberty Mutual Insurance halftime report from here in Bloomington. 42-28 is Michigan's lead. They continue this full-court press to success, but McAleskey gets underneath the defense, is good on the putback, and one.
To start with, I mean, that was just a tremendous look from Chesky. A great pass there into the paint, a missed basket, but this is how you stay with the ball, body up. We love to see it. The no-look pass from Chesky was just everything, but love the second effort, the second chance by McAleskey.
This is an 8-0 run by the Indiana Hoosiers. They forced 3 Michigan turnovers over this span.
I was going to say that part. The motor is just different defensively. Look at Chesky up on the ball right now.
Chesky all-out effort, but is whistled for the foul, and that is her second. So the 2 leading scorers for the Hoosiers, Beaumont and Chesky, each with 2 apiece here in the first half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Coach does with this one. So remember, the 2-hand touch, as long as you're not impeding the passer, but yeah, there as she dove on the ground, tripped up Michigan a bit.
And the rules are the rules, Asia, but sometimes it does hurt when you're called for a foul just for an effort play, whether it's going for a rebound or boxing out or trying to get a steal.
Yeah, it's tough. And then 2 minutes and a half, Shea's going to have to be really smart. Terry Moore clearly trusts her out there on the floor, which she honestly, Sloan has to be out there on the floor.
Swords, one dribble, no good right there. Offensive rebound, Dudley, she tries to stick with it. There's Olsen on the offensive glass.
You just make your life so much easier when you get a body on somebody and block out. Don't go straight to the rim. Go to the box out first. It makes your life easier.
Foul inside. Will go on the Wolverines. And on Dudley.
Yeah, McAleskey, she's not playing any games. I love the way that she is being physical and relentless in her attack.
Indiana will have the baseline inbound with 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, look, Terry Moore, and I thought she was shooting the ball as well.
And another whistle is going to go on Michigan. But you bring up a good point. She was trying to make her voice heard.
Yeah, I mean, I literally was about to say going to the free throw line, and then I saw they were on the baseline.
Last foul going on the freshman from Oklahoma, Mackenzie Mathurin, in her first action of this contest. Just barely got there before Corals Daniels was able to catch up with Chesky. McAleskey, no good for 3.
But I love the look. And that trap is coming every time at the top there, right in front of the half-court line.
Indiana from 3, 6 of 13. That's how they've kept this within arm's reach. That will not count, but Holloway was fouled as she was driving.
Well, Sloan, I'll tell you one thing. This game is being called tight with a capital T. Both ways, though. I feel like it's very consistent, so you just see sort of what the vibe is when it comes to the fouls. So, got to play smarter.
There are 6 players, 3 on each side with 2 personals apiece. His swords misfires, and McAleskey comes up with it. Beaumont, the lob inside, broken up by Dudley. A great recovery.
Yeah, great recovery from Dudley and great help side from Holloway as well. Both of them all over that, just making that pass not able to happen. You see Dudley with the recovery. Holloway was there in case it did get over. I mean, this is what I mean where Michigan is on a string defensively. No one is ever alone or left on the island.
This is a fun matchup to watch with Corals Daniels and Chesky. Chesky is being blitzed. She gives it up. And Dudley lays it up and in.
Dudley on the hedge at the top on the defense with the guard has just been a deadly force.
It feels unfair with her length and versatility.
Absolutely, the physicality going up against the wall that you're hitting and not fouling while she's doing that.
3-on-1, Corals Daniels with the lay-in, and that is now 18 points off turnovers for the Michigan Wolverines. It was poked away. Chesky had to soar for that pass. But this Michigan defense is just unrelenting wherever the ball goes.
Exactly. I mean, we have to start there crediting Michigan for their defense, because we've seen this in the top matchups and every matchup that they played. But on Indiana's side, Sloan, I mean, they shoot the ball so efficiently. You're almost beating yourself when you're turning it over, not allowing yourself to even have those possessions.
Caffey gallops into the paint. Here is Beaumont setting her feet. And Michigan slowing things down. About a 3-second differential shot and game clock to close out the first half. Five seconds to shoot. Holloway is fouled on the J. Holloway with 7 points today. That foul going on Caffey.
Yeah, I know Terry Morin cannot be happy with that, because you want to finish a play defensively, not with a foul, especially when you're going into the half.
48-31. Michigan's lead on fire offensively. Sunday on Peacock, it's a crucial Premier League clash in North London as Manchester City look to keep pace in the title hunt when they visit Spurs. It all kicks off at 11:30 Eastern exclusively on Peacock. Holloway 1 for 2 there. 6.4 seconds left. An opportunity for the Hoosiers to strike. 2 seconds left as Caffey tripped up. She is sworn will not get a shot off, and Michigan leads at the half 49-31 here at Assembly Hall.
The turnovers have been the name of the game, but again, Indiana, a team that can...
Curling's a sport you should tune into. I'll leave it at that, along with all the others.
I love tuning into the sports that, like, I didn't even know really existed or, like, don't really have much savvy to.
All right. So, no, absolutely. That's part of the fun of the Olympics, is seeing the mastery of so many different sports and disciplines they're not often exposed to. Holloway fouled inside. A foul going on Shea Chesky.
That's great defense here from Indiana. I lost them. The help's got to be there.
So Fekanic not there, but the putback is for Corals. Daniels sticking with it.
That's so tough. Such a great defensive possession to start from Indiana, but better offensive execution. That's how you make the read defensively.
Indiana has not led in this game. They've trailed by as many as 20 points. Got it within 8 in the second quarter with their three-point shooting. They're 6 of 14 in this game. Here is Chesky, a hand in her face. It did not matter. She is extraordinary shooting the basketball this season. So Fekanic met by a brick wall of Odessa Noyon. Weaving her way through. Beaumont going inside, outside. Caffey stops on a dime, drops it through, and Indiana shot out of a cannon to start the second half.
So clearly the message I'd have from Coach Morin to her team was to dial up the defense, take care of the basketball on offense, and just be relentless and aggressive on the paint attacks.
What Coach Morin says, they're winless in Big Ten play. She said, we're going to keep fighting. That's how I'm built. Our staff feels the same way. We're competitors. There is no quit in us.
And that's dangerous. When you have a team that fights, claws their way back, and can do it from the three-point line.
Makaleski finishes through the contact.
Well, if there's a way to chip back at the game, it is defense to offense. So the freshmen, we start here with Caffey. And then how about here, the defensive turnover and the lay-in. This is how you continue to chip your way at a lead if you're Indiana, and that's just a great play from Makaleski.
Can't convert on the three-point play. 2 minutes into this third quarter, a 7-0 run for the Hoosiers. Very balanced scoring at that. Shea Chesky leading the way at 11 points. She normally averages nearly 24 a game. Brooke Quarles-Daniels, an elegant rebuttal.
This is a player, Sloan, that is relied heavily on for her defensive effort. That is her focus, not necessarily the offense, but she has been so aggressive in this matchup, just taking matters into her own hands when she's picking apart the defense.
Quarles-Daniels, a three-point play opportunity. She's got 7 points. She's 3 of 3 shooting. Also 4 rebounds as the smallest player on the floor. She has all-out effort at all times, including in the backcourt on the press. She's communicating with Holloway, making things tough. Beaumont slithers her way inside, and Indiana's going to reset in the hands of their freshman point guard, Nevaeh Caffey.
So they got bailed out there. I will say Caffey held onto the ball a little too long, and maybe her players need to do a better job coming to her. She didn't have a lot of vision.
Noyan, an offensive foul, dipping that shoulder as Sofa Kanik picks it up.
Indiana, they're going to have to continue to be smart. They started out so well, and that's just an easy call there. You dip down that shoulder straight into the chest.
And that is 3, Asia, on Noyan. And remember, back-to-back games that Zania Soka-Guman is out with a lower leg injury. So they're even more short-handed. Here she picks up the steal, though, along the baseline, leading the break for the Hoosiers. Beaumont back to the basket, whips the other direction, finds a cutting Makaleski, and she'll shoot 2.
I'm not mad at the play at all. I mean, this is how you got to continue to do it. Get the ball moving around and try to get to the free throw lines as many times as you can.
There's a shot there of Soka-Guman, who had a double-double in their near upset over Iowa, who had a double-double in another near upset against a ranked team in Nebraska. Missed 8 straight games this season as well. The stage is set for Super Bowl 60. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks take on Drake May and the Patriots for the Lombardi Trophy. It's Super Bowl 60, Sunday, February 8th on NBC and Peacock.
And Bad Bunny's performing at half.
That's what Asia is pumped up for. Been working on my Spanish.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Swords finds Olsen, fades, hits. Always in control, Olivia Olsen.
Always. Just a calming factor. Anytime you need a bucket, it's always Olivia Olsen.
That ball goes out of bounds back to Michigan, leading by 16, 56-40. Even with this push by Indiana, Michigan staying strong.
I mean, she's just so good here. Great read on the cut, great pass. Facial expression never really changes with her. She just always has a calm composure. I mean that in the best way possible. She doesn't get sped up. She's like the game is so slowed in her mind.
Swords, a strong take. She's going to go to the free throw line. That foul going on at the Indiana Hoosiers. That's going to be 2 now on Nevaeh Caffey. And Swords no good on the first. Indiana in this game 5 for 9 from the free throw line. As we look at the Big Ten standings, Michigan threatening the undefeated Iowa and UCLA right at the top. They, of course, still have a chance to win a Big Ten title.
Absolutely. There's still so much time left, right? But if I'm thinking like if the tournament were today, I would want to be in that 2 spot, so there's no chance of me facing UCLA until the very end. That's the situation you typically would want to be in.
Beaumont retreats nearing the midway point of this third quarter. Indiana trying to summit all it has in the tank. That is off. And here is Brooke Quarles-Daniels igniting the fast break. Inside to Sofa Kanik, backing down against Noyan. No good off glass, gets her own miss, spins, and finishes.
Love the look there. And then next time Michigan comes down, they're going to have to look for Olivia Olsen because she has Kiaku on there. That is a size mismatch.
She just stole that away, finds Holloway, and she is fouled. We saw a lot of this in the first half, Asia, where Michigan was just swarming, picking up steals.
I mean, and that's just their game right here. And Sofa Kanik, who has just been so great, giving Michigan their inside presence. And then here we go, the steal to score. That's the bread and butter for Michigan. Got to take care of the basketball.
One last foul going on Beaumont. That's her third. She has 3, Chesky has 3, and Noyon has 3. That is 3 starters for the Hoosiers. That free throw makes it 61-40, and Michigan has its new largest lead of this game. They withstood a flourish by the Hoosiers to start this third quarter, and they are still bringing the intensity. Up ahead, it's Beaumont, though, with a clean finish inside.
Yeah, Kathy, you got to pay attention to the way Kiaku just completely dismantled that pressure from Michigan, kept it poised, and made a play out of it.
Working through Dudley in the high post. She got barreled down, and then a whistle. That's going to go on Caffey. That will be number 3 on Nevaeh Caffey. Caffey, that is now
away on the drive, Silas Swords on the drive. And then on the other end with Indiana, I mean, Michigan's one of the top teams, in my opinion, in the Big Ten in taking away the paint. Indiana really looking to shoot from outside, haven't gotten a lot of drives inside.
Olsen now up to 20 points. 8 of 12 shooting, nets both free throws. She has been magnificent this season. Just a sophomore. She's 5 of 5 from the free throw line at that.
I mean, you credit her hitting the free throws. You see all the big heads over there? I saw Cynthia Revo. that distracted me for a second.
The one that caught my eye was Barney. I didn't think the kids would know who that is.
I saw Tyrese Halliburton.
Here is Holloway barreling down the floor, going coast to coast. And 2 free throws coming up for another super sophomore for the Wolverines.
And Mia Holloway, I mean, when she gets her head down, she's just going and just on a mission clearly to get to the free throw line.
A foul going on Caffey. That is her 4th. Beaumont with 3. Chesky with 3. And that's almost the entire starting unit in a little bit of foul trouble right now. And off the miss, clearly the big head's quite effective.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I challenge Michigan most moving forward, is their third quarter punch. They sort of get punched early at times. And then, of course, more importantly, making free throws. That's something that's going to be so key down the line in March.
Holloway whistled for the foul, and that is her 2nd. On the Michigan side, no one even has 3 at this point. Beaumont to bring it in. Finds Noyon on a backdoor cut, working to perfection on the inbound.
And that's great patience there. Thought they were almost going to get the call, but freed up and got that last option.
Delphos, a tough take. She'll be shooting 2 free throws. That's going to go on Makaleski, her 2nd. And we're already seeing the tendencies, the identities of both these teams, where this is going to be free throw attempts number 17 and 18 for the Wolverines. Indiana with just 4 attempts. In fact, in this quarter, it's the 10th and 11th attempts for the Wolverines, who shoot the most free throws in the Big Ten.
I was going to say, Sloan, this is a common area for Michigan, but they need to capitalize and knock them in, as I said before. When you get into March, this is what can win or lose games for you. I mean, I had that double overtime that they escaped against Oregon. That's what it came down to.
Swords up ahead, in stride, finds Olsen yet again scoring on the fast break. That is 24 points off of 17 Indiana turnovers. And Olsen adds on to her 9th 20-point game of the season. No yawn through the defense, lays it up and in. She's been taking advantage of the dimes that have come her way. Indiana 3 of its last 3, but trailing 67-46. Here's Dudley, a magnificent trip across the lane.
I mean, you just have bodies and bodies and bodies coming off the bench for Michigan. Almost hard to keep track. Everybody just making their presence felt no matter what way it is.
You think about it, Michigan is top 10 in the country in bench scoring. Indiana, 357th at just about 8 points per game. Here's Sword setting her feet, lets it fly. Too strong, Delphos tracks it down. Holloway resetting here. Swords on the attack. Dudley, one dribble. That won't go. And a whistle is going to go on the Wolverines.
Dudley with the crossover, just showing off those moves to the reverse layup. I mean, how about it?
Journey Kiyaku has to put her shoe back on. I could have sworn she lost it when the play was already whistled dead, but looks like she's good to go. She's also played an important hand in running this offense, getting through this full-court press of the Wolverines. But look at the length you have, even with a reserve player like Macy Brown, what you have to contend with in that first line.
That's what I love, just the way Kim Barnes-Rico strategically puts the length up top. It works especially against those smaller guards, but just the length itself, taking away the vision, slowing down the offense.
And Kiyaku, her first time in the Big Ten, first time in a power conference, most recently at Duquesne. And already 7 seconds to shoot. Makaleski sheds her defender and lays it in.
There's still a lot of time left, Sloan, in this game, but for Indiana, you got to get stops on the defensive end. You cannot trade baskets. They can knock some in from 3. The game will flip.
Swords trying to muscle her way along the baseline. Chesky stands her ground. Dudley attacking and closing off that angle was Faith Wiseman, who's played some big minutes. .90 seconds to go. Brown jostles it free. Here is Swords trapped by Beaumont, and she converts.
I mean, this Michigan team, Sloan, is just so good. I think they're going to make a run. I see them in the championship game in Big Ten. I think they can make a solid, deep run. Sweet 16 for sure. I think they can even go beyond that, given the matchups in the NCAA tournament.
Coach Morin is going to call a timeout. The Indiana Hoosiers, despite shooting 7 of 9 from the floor,
is just always on full. I mean, the motor never, ever, ever stops. Pretty much with anybody on this team, but especially Olsen.
Final minute to the third quarter here at Assembly Hall. Kiyaku, a tough take. She's been a positive energy bright spot for the Indiana Hoosiers off the bench. That foul going on Corals Daniels. So free throws here, both teams in the bonus at the remaining 53 seconds. Indiana trailed by 20 points as early as the first quarter. Got within 8 in the second quarter, but Michigan has kept a safe distance from the Hoosiers for the vast majority of this game. They have never trailed. Just a second Hoosier to the free throw line outside of Maya Makaleski. Zooming down, getting downhill is Delphos, who plows her way to the rim, and she earns herself to the free throw line. She's feeling it right now.
No, I love it. And she's so fun. Just one of my favorites. I have so many favorites on this squad. It's hard to choose, but Delphos is just that player that you root for, Sloan. You just get so happy for her when she makes certain plays. She's a tough blue-collar worker out there on the floor.
.47 seconds to go. And this is a fun bounce back to see for Delphos as well. She hasn't lit up the box score in this game, but has made her impact known in other ways. Coming off a contest against USC, was scoreless in 13 minutes, but the 4 games before that, 14 points per game. So she's still settling in, finding that experience. Here's Dudley in the passing lane, picking it off. She's going to retreat. Take some more time off, about a 5-second difference on game clock. It's now 12 steals for the Wolverines. Running it through Corals. Daniels at the high post. Swords tries to get free. No good that time. That was halfway down and out.
But I love it. That's a really good play there that Kim Barnes-Enrico called out.
Final shot. Chesky hits iron. And we head to the fourth quarter.
Every game, it is their ability to get steals, to score. When you gain more possessions, I mean, that's just the name of the game. And that is what it's been in this matchup for Michigan, the way they've been able to defend and capitalize on the offensive end.
Chesky slices into the paint, leaves it for Makaleski. A good box out there by Dudley, holding off Wiseman. Delphos, the jab fake, no good from 3. And Indiana takes back over. Chesky, the mid-range, gets that to fall. She's at 13 points, normally averaging 24 per game.
And she's had a pretty quiet second half at that. I mean, you continue to credit Michigan's defense. Her looks have been absolutely difficult.
Good defense inside by Wiseman. And Chesky pushes it up the floor. Snatched away, Delphos using her length. And attacks on the other side. There's a whistle as well. There's a 3-point play opportunity coming up.
I mean, the play happened so quick, I barely caught it myself.
Well, her response was disappointment at first.
I think she thought that she was getting called for the offensive foul.
Okay, the foul goes on Kyaku. It is officially a 3-point play opportunity. She did not get to enjoy.
Like, huh? Because she thought it was the offensive foul. She was getting ready to go, what?
And she converts. Now she can celebrate.
Yeah, now you celebrate, girl.
75-51 is the lead for Michigan. They have kept it at least a 20-point cushion for much of this game. As that's an offensive foul going on Indiana. And this is the response we were talking about. This is why I second-guessed.
That's what she said, oh, come on now. Even Brown, like, what? And then you realize you're going to the free throw, and she's like, oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Meanwhile, you hear the boos raining down from the crowd. That is 3 personal fouls on Chesky. That coming on the offensive side. Almost a turnover by Indiana. Here's Chesky slicing through. Caffey smothered on the interior, but she'll be shooting 2. That's going on Kendall Dudley. That's going to be 3 now on Dudley.
I think another area of growth for Indiana offensively. You notice every time Chesky's going downhill, I feel like everyone else on the outside is sort of stagnant. No one's sort of diving, sliding, moving to open slots where she can see and kick out for 3, which I'm assuming it's because they are just so reliant on her scoring the basketball. But you have to make yourself available.
It's something that Coach Morin talked to us about today. Back-to-back games without Zania Soka-Guman, who was averaging nearly a double-double in the game she has played this season. But when you don't have that interior presence, how much pressure it puts on your backcourt to perform.
Absolutely. You have to have the inside-out balance. And that's a player that bangs in the paint. She's got a lot of size. She's physical. She's strong. Gets on the glass. So that's definitely a missed opportunity.
Delphos, another 3-point play opportunity.
And she's all smiles for this one. She knows. She knows. You know, you know. I mean, Delphos gets her own rebound. And the finish as she's falling back, that is a tough one right there. I mean, just look at the way she skies over the defenders, over the Hoosiers. gets a opportunity on the free throw line. An area that we said that Michigan sort of lagged. She has been great.
Well, Shachevsky on the bench for Indiana. She had not sat in this game, but she has 4 personal fouls with 8 minutes to go. Kiaku running the show. Caffey behind the back on the attack. And 2 free throws coming up. That's going to go on Sofa Kanik, her 3rd.
Have another look at Caffey. Oh, I see you, girl, behind the back. Little uncontrolled. Sofa Kanik looked a little confused there, but there was no control in her body coming in for the help defense.
Caffey no good on the first, sitting at 6 points. .78-54 is Michigan's lead. Del Foss calling her own number again. And a whistle. That's going to go on the Wolverines. Sofa Kanik whistled for the foul. She goes to the bench.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Slim, you had mentioned Coach Moore and sort of talking about this, but the fight that Indiana has in them, I mean, they have not, despite the score, despite runs, they have not taken their foot off the gas this entire game. They continue to work on both ends of the floor.
That was something that Nevaeh Caffey told us today. She said, we're sticking together. We have belief. Here is Beaumont attacking the rim. Sprinting ahead, coast to coast is Hongwei. Not there. Kiaku slices into the paint.
Every time Kiaku gets it in that type of situation and transition, she just has to go because there is no one with her foot speed.
Olivia Olson drains a triple. She's got 26.
She's a calming factor. She's the run stopper, the crowd quieter, like every single time you just think you have the run. Here comes Olivia Olson.
10 of 14 shooting. But the kind of defense she draws, remarkable night. Even when you've come to expect it from her. Brown cuts across and she converts. My goodness, this Michigan transition offense is exhaustive.
It really is. I mean, it starts with that stifling defense, and we're just seeing different faces putting points up on the board every other possession. It is really dangerous when you look at this Michigan team and what they are capable of doing.
Holloway nearly a steal. Under 10 to shoot. Kiaku, a great look at a 3. Michigan back with the basketball. We saw it the last time down 26 fast break points. Here they'll slow it up. Olsen facing up, backing down against Chesky. And Chesky is going to pick up her 5th.
Oh, and that's huge too. But I'll tell you what else is huge. Olivia Olsen, this entire game. And then Macy Brown, just a different face from Michigan that you see put points up on the board every other possession.
Shachevsky has fouled out with a season low with 13 points today against this vaunted Michigan defense.
Well, come on, DeRico. She does such a great job strategically going into every game. You credit coach and then whoever on the staff was in charge of this scouting report, but the way that they're able to defend teams' best players, how they've shut down Chesky, just completely dismantled Indiana's offense.
Chesky, the leading scorer in the Big Ten, nearly 24 points per game on 54, 46, 91 splits. Today, 13 points before fouling out.
And usually Chesky is like that type of player where you're like, let's just try to hold her to X amount of points, still a high volume. But no, in this one, they really did stop her essentially. Limited her looks. I mean, you really credit this Michigan defense. Absolutely impressive.
She's scored at least 20 points 14 times this season, has 5 30-point games. That really does speak volumes of Michigan's defense because Chesky is incredibly tough to stop. Magaleski, the turnaround J, will earn her a trip to the free throw line. Nearing the midway point of this fourth quarter. Indiana has already had Chesky foul out. They're playing without Zania Sokagumin, out back-to-back games with a lower leg injury. Magaleski and Caffey each have 4 personals apiece. It's been an uphill climb for this group. And Magaleski up to 14 points. Crockett, the extra pass, soars. Noyan controls the glass. Beaumont in traffic. We'll head to the free throw line. There have been 10 fouls combined in this quarter. We're not even midway through.
This game was called tight, I would say the entire one, but you go into every matchup, Sloan, it is the fourth quarter that's always called the tightest, and that's why this is the most important when you get to the free throw line to really cash in.
So Fakanik has 4. Quarles Daniels with 4 for Michigan. And Olivia Olson just recently checking out with her 27 points today. Quarles Daniels tracks it down off the miss. Holloway, a deep 3 is good. Holloway's got 14 on 4 of 5 shooting. Caffey turns the corner. The free throw line jump shot doesn't go. Felt like a track meet all game long between these two teams. Here is Crockett for 3. She's got it in her home state.
So now we're adding Crockett on the points, putting points on the board. Again, just speaking to the depth that Michigan has is just insane.
24 bench points for the Wolverines. Beaumont loses it. It's Michigan basketball. The expectations for this year.
Absolutely. And to your point, Sloan, the culture, I think, is probably the #1 reason why she's been able to have so much success. And the other part of it is she's had so many different type of teams. Teams where she's had a Naz Hillman, a huge presence in the paint. Times where she hasn't, where they're more guard-oriented like this season. No matter what type of team she has, Sloan, she's always able to adapt. And that's why she finds success throughout her seasons.
Holloway nails the triple. 17 points for Mila Holloway. 3:45 on the clock. Well, we could tell from the very beginning of the season how connected, how great the potential for this Michigan team is. That 3 is good by Magaleski. If you think back to nearly upsetting the UConn Huskies, goes down to the final shot against the undefeated reigning champions.
And I think that was really where, in their minds, even the win over, I would say the win over Notre Dame, the start was really that big confidence booster in terms of a measuring stick game. But even seeing the way they're able to keep up with UConn, keep them on their toes, that was the best game that UConn was given so far this season. And, I mean, to be able to do that really shows where Michigan measures up. And to your point about the connectedness, I feel as though this team, when you look at them, you see their chemistry. They're the most connected team in conference. And there are a lot of those in this conference.
Beaumont is fouled. She'll be shooting 2. Looking at Michigan's schedule, this is when we're going to continue to learn a lot about them. You got the rivalry game, Michigan State. Nebraska has flirted. They've been in and out of the top 25, still a solid group. But I think we're all waiting to see that UCLA game and how those two are going to match up.
Yes, we are. That one is extremely exciting. And those are both teams, when you talk about the depth, the players that can score with UCLA, they've got that really, really strong 5. But I'll say the difference. Michigan has a stronger bench, a much stronger bench. I would say more depth than UCLA does. UCLA has Dougal Leach. They got Sienna Betts, who's still finding her way. So that'll be something interesting to see. But again, UCLA, their length, their scoring ability. They've got, 2 players on the team that are below 6 feet. Charlize Ledger-Walker has been absolutely incredible. I've been so impressed. She's really changed the dynamic of this squad between she and then Neepkins as transfers coming in.
Even for Charlize Ledger-Walker, career low in scoring, but she impacts that team in so many ways. And she says, look at who I have around me. Why would I not distribute and share the basketball with who I'm surrounded by? But those are going to be both teams. When you look at Michigan against UCLA, just a couple games away, teams that so value defense as well.
Exactly.
Caffey. Nakaleski has a hand in her face.
I think for Michigan, again, that depth, their bench, the way they play, I think is going to be a huge difference maker in that matchup against UCLA.
Allie Van Timeren walled up inside. And it's snatched away by Indiana. And scoring on the fast break is the Indiana Hoosiers and Kiyaku.
We did all that yapping about the matchup and didn't even mention Lauren Betts. I'm sorry, that just like was like...
Oh, you know, it goes without saying,
You're talking about... We're talking about everything but Lauren Betts.
Of course, she's having a magnificent season herself. And so much balance around her, too.
Exactly.
Where she's not scoring. Sure, her play certainly has picked up in Big Ten play. Her numbers have gone up, but she has been so selfless in sharing the basketball.
A playmaking post is a dangerous type of player to have on your team, so a luxury there for Corey Close. Excellent coach at UCLA with what she's been able to do.
Three seconds left for Indiana. And Michigan basketball, 1 minute to play. Michigan got up by 20 points in the first quarter. Indiana within 8 in the second quarter. Here's Jessica Fields, who is fouled. From Kennesaw, Georgia, getting some Big Ten play, attacking the glass. But it's interesting. We've been talking about the depth of Michigan, Asia. 9 different players have scored this half. This could make it 10 if Fields converts on the free throws.
It's about being ready when your number is called. It's the unselfishness. You see the way that the starters on the bench continue to score, celebrate and cheer when those other players score. It's that connectedness and just being happy for one another. You don't have your night scoring. You do whatever the team needs and be happy for that player that is having their night.
I think that says a lot about the superstars of this team. That doesn't feel like there's a giant gulf between them and players a little deeper on the bench.
Not all. It's like that encouraging, we need you. Be ready.
And officially, the 10th different Wolverine to score tonight with Fields on the board. They're, of course, led by Olivia Olson's 27 points on 10 of 14 shooting. Behind her, Holloway with 17, Swords with 10. It can be any Wolverine on any given night, and that's how they operate. Mackenzie Mathurin. Crockett is drained to 3. A deep post up inside, that doesn't fall. This time Sierra Byers, a 6'2" freshman, getting in on the floor. 4.9 on the clock. Crockett up and under. Offensive rebounds. And here going to the free throw line is Byers. "14 offensive rebounds for the Wolverines. Indiana with 1. Now we do know they were sending 4 back throughout much of tonight.
And traditionally, the Hoosiers, even when they had days, they traditionally sent at least 2 to 3 back. So that did take away from their offensive rebounding. But again, this is a team that hits so many shots. They're so efficient that they don't really need it.
11 players have scored for Michigan. And that will do it here at Assembly Hall. 9